Hello, everyone. I'm Tyler Ailes alongside
Josh Key.
And Jacob Govan.
and this is the 404 Podcast.
Everyone gets around, hit the second hot pound, settle down and go to town, feel the bass and buckle down.
Our first topic today is the Order 1886. The Order 1886 is a single-player third-person shooter developed by Ready at Dawn Studio and published by Sony. The Order 1886 is a PlayStation 4 exclusive released on February 20th, 2015. It is set in an alternate history London where an old order of knights keeps the world safe from mutants. The humans feared these monsters and war broke out.
So, I saw this. I saw the gameplay trailer and everything, but my big concern is just the 5-hour gameplay. Like, a few players did this. Granted, they were speedrunners who only did the main storyline with minimal collectible items, but still, 5 hours, I don't even think that's worth $60.
Yeah, but does it really matter on the time of the game, like how long it takes to complete? Doesn't it matter about the content and like how good the content is and the quality of the game?
So you're telling me, like, it's quality over quantity, though?
It is.
Look at The Last of Us. That was a really short game, but everyone loves that game. That's an amazing
Or
release.
even The Walking Dead was
Yeah.
only like an 8-hour game.
Yeah, and like I agree, like with that, like it's just like between preference, you know, like there's some RPG games that have like 35 hours of gameplay on it, and
But
then
that being said, I don't think The Order is anywhere as comparable to The Last of Us.
That's true. But
yeah,
this is nice for gamers like me. Like, I can't play a long game because I can't sit and play a long game for a long time.
I think the order isn't for like diehard gamers who like really like that's what their passion is and they love content and stuff and things to do. But that is like there are collectible items and everything, so for that hardcore player, you know, like so
Exactly.
if they do want to spend like over 10 hours playing this game, they very well could be. And I'm pretty sure there's like replayability with the game.
Exactly. It's like Gears of War. It's
Yeah,
also-
yeah.
yeah. It was a great game, and it wasn't that long either.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, the game's an exclusive for the PS4, I think. Yeah, the PS4. The graphics look great. I mean, that's expectable. But that's expectable from like Sony published games. I mean, like if you look at The Last of Us, that was an excellent game. Yeah, so I think like if like Sony's publishing a game, they have a lot of influence with the developers and.
No, definitely. Sony always puts
Like-
out good content too.
It's almost like how EA is always pressuring DICE and Battlefield to like, how do I say this? Like, make as much money as possible
Yeah.
with the new skins like that they put out for Battlefield Hardline.
Yeah, speaking of Battlefield Hardline, didn't that just come out like last week?
Yeah, it was released March 17th.
Yeah, it was in like open beta, then they closed it, and then they released it a week ago. So that brings us to our next topic. Battlefield Hardline is a first-person shooter developed by Visceral Games in collaboration with EA. EA being their sponsor, or their publisher too. It released March 17th. Hardline is the focus of crime and heist instead of Modern Warfare, which they previously did with Battlefield 2, 3, and 4. It features a variety of new game modes, and the focus has been shifted to being the police in the war on organized crime.
A lot of people think that Hardline should be DLC for Battlefield 4 due to the fact that a lot of the stuff is the same. Gameplay is the same. The engine's the same. The guns are the same, except just with different looks to them. But other people are saying that it's completely different and it just feels different altogether. What do you guys think about that?
Well, you see, like, when people say it feels different, what do they mean? It's the same engine. There's not much that you can have if you have the same engine. There's nothing different.
I mean, like, what is the engine, though? Like, when you play a game, do you say, oh, this is the same hitbox, I'm hitting the guy in the same place? No, the gameplay is completely different with the added new game modes, and it doesn't even feel like a Battlefield game, which is kind of a bad thing
All right.
in my point of view.
Yeah, but like people can say that with DLC. It felt like Strike at Karkan, the first DLC for Battlefield 3. It was a completely new game because there was new vehicles, there were new guns, new maps that felt a lot different.
But there wasn't new game modes. The game mode's the whole objective of multiplayer. Like, it's not the same.
See, I haven't seen much or played much of Battlefield Hardline, so I'm a little on the fence about this. But if you look at most shooters, they're all the same. Each next gen of shooter is still the same game, just with tiny bit of different content.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, that's multiplayer, but like what I'm really like, I don't really like the multiplayer aspect, but just the single player for me is enough to buy the game. I was watching some gameplay of that, and it looked really neat. It looked, it played like a movie, which I kind of liked. That was interactive almost, and it had like, it was really intense and everything. So,
Well, that's exactly what they went for with the single player campaign. It's like a cop drama.
is it?
Okay,
Yeah,
hold
that's what I
on for
figured.
a second. So you're saying you think it's worth the full $60?
Maybe not the full $60. I'd probably wait. I mean, there's no really rush to get it if you're only going to play the single player. You might play the multiplayer, but that's not really what you value in the game, right?
The single player is definitely worth it.
Like,
The multiplayer is fun. You can get some time out of it, but it does get boring. I'd honestly prefer, as a Battlefield fan, to have it as a DLC for Battlefield 4 and to continue playing Battlefield 4.
if the viewers really want to get this game, or like they're interested in getting this game, I'd highly suggest that you get it when it's later. Like, get it when it's on sale, because like right now, it's the same thing is going to happen with Hardline that happened with Battlefield 4 was. It was released too early. That's not my big argument right now, but like the big picture is that Battlefield 4 was released too early, and then it was a slop of a game. Like, some people rated it 2 out of 10, and then they came back like months later, and then they played it again, and it was like a 9 out of 10, because like EA is really, really good at like working out the bugs and listening to the viewers or the players, and like they really respond to feedback and everything, and they change the game the way that the players want it. So, and it's a win-win for everybody, you know? Like, if you're going to buy it, you're going to get it cheaper, maybe $15 to $30 cheaper, and you're going to have a complete game. The only problem with that is if you go to play multiplayer, you're going to run into these gung-ho players that have, like, they're fully kitted out with, like, perks and stuff, and they have the best skins in the game and the best weapons, because they bought it during release, and then they just grinded until they had, like, the highest level and the best guns, and they know how to play the game, you know?
All right. So moving on from Battlefield, another new release that just came out was Dying Light. Do you want to explain what that is?
Yeah, sure. Dying Light is a long-awaited survival horror game developed by the Polish developer Techland, published by Warner Bros. Interactive Entertainment for Microsoft Windows, Linux, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. The game is about an operative sent to infiltrate a quarantine city called Haran. It features zombie hordes in an open-world metropolis and a dynamic day and night cycle. Players traverse an expansive urban environment overrun by a vicious epidemic, scavenging the world for supplies and crafting weapons to defend against the growing infected population with a heavy focus on free-running and parkour mechanics.
Man, Dying Light. I played it myself, and I just finished the game a few days ago. I bought it. I pre-ordered it actually, and bought it the day it was out. It was a great game.
Yeah. I've seen a lot. I haven't played it myself yet, but I've seen a lot about this game, and it looks amazing. I think this one really knocked it out of the park.
All right, so here's a little snippet of the trailer, and Tyler actually did a little bit of editing himself to shorten it up. So kudos to him. Here's a little snippet of the trailer with some audio.
Run, boy, run. The sun will be guiding you. Run, boy, run. They're dying to stop you. Run. The secret inside of you. Run, boy, run. This race is a prophecy. Run, boy, run. And disappear in
really did this well. They made like the very first good parkour game. I mean, like Brink was there, and then you have Mirror's Edge, which was super old. Brink was a terrible game, but like they finally a bunch of developers got parkour right. Like it's the very first like actual good zombie
Fluid.
part. Yeah,
Yeah.
fluid. Like it felt really good.
But I heard that the controls feel really awkward at first.
Well, I don't know about console, but for PC it was fine.
See, I heard people playing it on the Xbox, and the controls were a bit off. But I heard once you got used to it, it wasn't bad, and it was fluid, but it was really hard to get used to.
Yeah, there's something like that in like Assassin's Creed, where it's kind of difficult to jump. Sometimes you'd be jumping off buildings, or you wanted to jump onto a ledge and you
Yeah.
miss them. But that's to be expected. Like, how else are you going to be able to do stuff, right?
I heard a lot about the importance of the day and night cycle.
Oh yeah, I like as a first person, like I played it first person, right? And like it was really really good. Like I never like there was a few missions where like you'd have to go into the sewers that were dark, and like sometimes like I'd be having a long gaming session, and then I'd get like playing during the daytime and everything, and then I'd go to nighttime, like a nighttime mission or something. And then, like, I want to stop playing because, like, I was so scared that, like, I just, like, I'll come back to it later, you know? I don't want to play it right now.
But that's good with a game like that.
Oh, yeah,
it
definitely.
is. Like, it makes it feel just so...
If I wasn't such a little girl and, like, I actually
Yeah.
wanted to play it and wanted to get scared if I like scary stuff, oh, yeah, sure, that would have been a blast.
But, yeah, so needless to say, this game is for sure... Definitely pick it up if you have the money.
Yeah,
Because
definitely.
it's great.
Like, they had a lot of good things, like, they had, like, random events almost, where, like, an airdrop would come in from, like, the government or something, or, like, a humanitarian aid, program or something. And, like, an airdrop would come in, and you'd run to it, there would be a big smoke flare that pops up, and then you'd have to fight other survivors for it, because they wanted the supplies too, and they were willing to fight other survivors for it.
Yeah.
It was truly great.
All right. Well, unfortunately, that's all the time we have. Thank you guys for listening. Come back for our next episode next week. And this is 404 signing off.